Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm just gonna do this live, straight to it. There's no editing, no posting. I should probably spend a little more time on bumpers, intros, outros, all that stuff. But I want to talk about a serious topic that I face, and real estate agents face, and when you come into this business, you face, and that's depression. The roller coaster of going up and down is just bizarro. How much stuff you have to put up with in the real estate industry when it comes to generating business, having lots of money on the line, having to be self-employed, self-disciplined, self-starting, right? When you came into this business, I'm not sure what impression you got when you came in, but you soon find out you're on your own. I mean, if you get lucky and you have a leader or a coach or someone who carries you through to soften the landing of this real estate industry, then awesome for you. Good for you. Most of us don't have that. Most of us realize that when we get into this real estate business, we got to figure it out. You know, your manager, your broker, your whoever comes to you and says, here's what you should do, go do it. And if they're not from the prospecting world, meaning if they don't prospect for business, they're not going to recommend that you prospect. They're going to recommend anything but prospecting, which is going to be in most cases something rather expensive. Whether it's saying, hey, buy leads, buy this marketing piece, buy that, buy, and the money goes buy, because you can't keep track of how much spending you have in this business. If you don't see income, you will definitely see a fast outpour. I mean, just to get into this business isn't very expensive. It's very easy to get in. Maybe what, $1,500 to get your license, and maybe another $1,500 to join the board. Within $3,000, you can be a licensed real estate professional with a set of business cards and be your own boss. But if nobody tells you the truth about what that means, for example, if you were going to open up a pizza parlor and you said, I want to open up a pizza parlor, your life's dream was to open up a pizza parlor, you probably were able to walk into a local pizza place and meet the owner and see the owner, right? And you could see, are they happy? Are they making pizza? You can ask questions. You'll see like the back room where they buy their supplies. You'll see the dough flying, and you'll see the reality of owning a pizza place. Same thing when you own a McDonald's, you own a Starbucks. Like there's really, I'm trying to think of any industry where what the reality is as vague as real estate, meaning that like, are there other industries that look so glamorous that don't really show you what it's like? I mean, I don't know for example, I don't know what it's like to be a stockbroker. Do I think it's glamorous? If you're winning, yeah, I could imagine, but you know, my ignorant and outside impression of being a stockbroker is somebody who makes calls all day and is in a suit. But I'm not thinking, you don't see like $1 million stockbroker on Bravo, and you don't see like this glamorous stockbroker life. And the only ones that they glamorize for stockbrokers are like criminals, right? And they get arrested. So you're like, so you don't have these entities that are put front and center that are real estate agents, where they have to put on, you know what I mean? That there's this, we're in an industry where our public persona, the perception that we give people, the impression that we give society is that this is fun and we're making lots of money and we're professional and we work hard. I mean, I don't know, I can see past this. I'm a little too tainted to try to see on the internet how hard an agent's working. You see, I see how hard an agent's working in my town because I see her signs around, right? I see open houses. So I see something, but is it what you see? To the general public who's coming into the business, do they see that? Or do they see something else? Do they see sexy money, right? Bottles and models, right? Driving fast cars and making big fat checks, because I think that's what it is. And there's this real estate meme out there that shows four squares, if you've seen it, that it shows like what the public thinks I make, what my mom thinks I make, what I truly make, something like, where it shows like these four pictures of what people think versus what the reality is in real estate. And it's true, but this is the weirdest industry where the truth about depression, drugs, alcohol, suicidal tendencies, bottom, like end of the, like no industry do you go out and raise such a big flag and make such a big stink about everything you're doing and then be so public about the failure, or like just kind of shut down your social profiles and go back to whatever job you do if you fail. But you feel like it's important to succeed because you have to show success, but when the truth is that it comes out, it becomes devastating. So me, 30 years into this business, 1,500 plus homes, I'm thick, right? I got thick skin. If you saw James Festini circa 1993, 4, 5, I was a wimp. Like, I was really scared of my own shadow. I was scared of clients. People would beat me up on commissions. I would like give in money. I would give in, like, I was just weak. People could step all over me. But the older I get, the more ornery I'm getting, right? The more I'm like, no, you're not doing this. No, this is what we're gonna do because I'm the professional and you're not, right? I love you, thank you for hiring me, but now you're gonna have to actually trust me. Kind of thing like that, where I'm just stronger mentality, right? But we don't talk about it. Keeping it real, exactly. We don't talk about it because the reality, the real estate reality, is behind a thick curtain of lies. It is painted and manicured and polished and sanitized for the public's perception. And we all see this perception. So the reason I'm bringing this up is that you can watch my videos over the course of history and see how I feel inside based on the topics. And I talk about the topics, where if I talk about anxiety or depression. Fortunately, right now, this topic is not necessarily for me sharing my feelings, but I've run into an agent who is super depressed and not getting results. And that really bothers me because it's a one-on-one student. And it really bothers me because I care and because I feel it, right? Man, this real estate business, it's not like you get to the top and then it's easier, right? I mean, you could have one listing, have it close and be happy. But what would you do if you had 10 listings and 9 fell apart? Would you be happy? No, you'd be miserable. And I'm noticing the older I get, and I'm watching like wealthy people. I'm not wealthy by any stretch of the imagination, right? But I'm watching wealthy people who say, you still have problems. You still have these anxiety. Like when people want to quit drugs, they say, well, when I move to this new location, what the problem is when you're trying to kick heroin and you move to a different state, problem is you take you with you. And real estate is one of those things that if you are naturally inclined to be emotionally distraught over finances, right, that you worry, like you used to have a job, but maybe that job, were you ever happy with that job, or did it always kind of stress you out? Did you lose that job? Or did you quit that job? Did you come in? So, you know what I mean? I'm asking these questions to those of you who watch my videos and think to yourself, I too suffer from depression and anxiety, and I'm not afraid to admit it. I don't see any problem with saying that the roller coaster that we ride, hell, you guys were with me 2 weeks ago when I lost 3 listings in a 72-hour period, where I picked up one And then the guy got sick and he had to cancel the listing. And then there were two other sellers who were just very difficult, just super ornery, where I was like, okay, and I had to fire them, or I had to quit, or I was done with these individuals because they were slowing me down more than I didn't see it. I didn't see money at the end of the rainbow. Let's put it that way. Sometimes you find a client who you know it's not going to happen. So you have this, like, I was like super high, riding on cloud nine, and then like tomorrow, I mean, anything could happen with any one of my properties where something goes wrong, and then you're like, I feel like crap. And then let's fix it out. How many times have you been in this business and like the appraisal doesn't come in, right? You're ready to close escrow and then there's appraisal problem. You're like, oh, I feel like crap. But then it fixes itself. You're like, oh, but you feel like crap for a whole day. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? I gotta make next month's bill. This was my only transaction. Shit, this is gonna, and like, you're like, oh, now we're gonna be twirling signs on the freeway. Holy crap, I gotta drive for, I mean, like they say a coward dies 1,000 deaths and a hero dies only one. Well, I think a worried realtor dies 1,000 deaths, and a confident realtor only dies one. Actually doesn't die any at all. You see, when you have 8 or 9 properties and 2 or 3 fall apart, you have another 4 or 5 there. And so you're like, oh, well, that sucks, but I got others. So how do you get to the point where you have so many that depression doesn't affect you? But would it? Like, let's say, okay, you have anxiety and you have depression. What do you think is going to happen when you get 20 listings, right? 10 listings. Let's say, boom, 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 you got 10 listings. So 5 of them are closing. You have $50,000, $100,000 in the bank. Is that enough? Will then you achieve this status of happiness and satisfaction where you're like, I'm good and nothing can bring me down? Or are you going to have a terrible seller or a crappy situation, or somebody doesn't move out on time, and is that going to bother you? It's the weirdest thing, because now I'm in a place in my life where I just cannot afford to worry. I've died so many times over worry. I worry for things that never happen. And that's just over the last 1 or 2 years where I've just always worried. But now I just can't. Like, somehow the universe works itself out. Every time you've had this situation, I mean, tell me that you haven't hit rock bottom 10 years ago and you're still alive and you still have food in your belly and you still have a roof over your head. What happened to that same person who was dying 1,000 deaths? What happened? It worked itself out. The universe has a funny way of working itself out. So I want to encourage you guys, just stop worrying. Don't worry about the things you cannot change and accept the things that you can. What's that? Is that like a prayer or something? God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change and have the wisdom to change them. Something to that effect. The Bible's got some good quotes in there. And this is one of them. The final lesson for you is just don't let this worry you. And easy for you to say, James, you're this. Fine. I've been where you're at. Try not to worry. And if you can't avoid worrying, then work your butt off, get more listings so that your problems are bigger. You do have bigger problems. Look at, like, one example is Ryan Searhant, the $1 million listing dude. He's very transparent. I like his style, and he'll tell you, I still have the same problems. Now they're just bigger. So can you handle problems at all? Because if you can't handle stress with 1 or 2 properties, how the hell are you going to handle 10 or 15? How the hell are you going to, like, you really, and if it was one thing I could give to any student right now, it would be a layer of my skin and just say, here you go, guys, wear this suit. It's invincibility. It has the power of letting you live your life, your best possible life, without worry. It's not possible, but it works itself out. And if you have religion, oh man, if you got religion, shoot, if I was religious, man, I'd be practically bulletproof, because I'd be like, he's got my back, or, you know, that entity's got my back. I'm not a very religious person, so for me, I can't lean on an entity to say it's in God's hands. I like to think it is, and there may or may not be. I'm a good person at heart, but can I, truly believe that? Anyhow, I'm not going to get religious on you guys, but I'm just saying there is a high probability that you have what it takes to correct or adjust your heart so that it becomes stronger. And if you can't, get out and work. Pick up the phones and knock on the doors. If you're worried about money, then you don't have money to advertise. So, problem solved. You can't advertise. What's the solution? Prospecting. There is no other way. I mean, what are you going to do? Join the Chamber of Commerce? Costs money. Do a mixer? Costs money. I'm like scrambling through my brain to think, what do the top agents do? Well, the top agents network. Do you have time to network? Do you need a sale now? No, you don't have time to network. So what's your choice? Work. What are the only choices? What is the fastest way for you to get a listing? Now you have 5 listings. Now what do you got a problem? Now you're going to be worried because none of your listings are selling, right? Now you have 5 listings. Each one of them costs $500, right? Because you got pictures, photography, open houses. Now you're really busy and nothing's selling. Now what do you want? Now it's like it's never enough. It's never going to be enough. It's never going to be enough. So be happy with what you got, because that too will be gone one day. And you will wish and look back on these times right now, this season of life. If you are not doing everything you can to squeeze every drop out of this one shot, this one opportunity, if you don't do everything you got now, there will come a time 10 years from now where you remember this moment and say, what I wouldn't give to have that body back, that face back, that, those arms back, that moment back. What I wouldn't give to have this market back. Like looking back on it now, what I wouldn't give to go back to 2000, 2001, just before the do not call list. Holy cow, I would exhaust everything I had to dial, and I would send out a team of door, and I would slaughter the marketplace, and then I'd invest, and I'd make, do you know what I mean? Hindsight is always 2020, but what's 100 is your potential should you give it everything you've got. If you're not giving it everything you got, and you're not putting everything you can into this real estate business, then of course at the end of each day you're going to feel like crap because you didn't do crap. But just like a diet, if you worked out that day, you'll feel better. But then what happens if in the middle of the day you have chips and salsa? You feel like crap. But what happens if you have a nice tall glass of water and go for a walk? You feel better. And then you come home and you eat cake. Now you feel like crap again. Stop eating like crap if you want to have a better health. Stop not working. Stop stopping work. Don't not be prospecting, door knocking, and cold calling if you want to make money in the real estate business. So that at the end of the day, today I probably knocked 150 doors. I did 6 videos, market videos. I didn't make any calls. Do I feel bad? Yeah, it's never enough. So I accept that it's never enough. I've accepted it's not enough. But did I do 100? Did I do 100% of me? Maybe I could have done more. I could have eaten better. Maybe that food, right? Maybe the topic, having this conversation in front of me, maybe that's affecting me negatively. But beyond that, what could I have done differently? Nothing. I really think I gave everything I got to today. And if I think that I made any mistakes today that I could correct tomorrow, I promise tomorrow's coming. And if it doesn't come, then I guess it doesn't matter. But I'm pretty sure in about 12 hours from now, you will have an opportunity to stand up and knock on a door. No matter where you're watching, where you're at, whether you're watching me in the morning or in the afternoon, you always have a chance right now. Even if it's 20 minutes before sunset, if you stood up and hit 10 doors, you would get that little tickle in your stomach, that little butterfly where you're like, I should be doing more of this. Why don't I? Tomorrow I'm going to do it. Let me encourage you. Read my book, Dynamic Door Knocking. I'm finding a lot of people who are super motivated by the words that are in that book. It wasn't written as a motivational, but I got a quote today from someone who's like, I'm unstoppable. Like, I used to door knock and it was okay, but now that I've read your book, like, this is super easy and you've created a monster. And I'm like, yes, it's easy. Best part is no one's doing it. So why don't you go out and do something, okay? You should do something every day to keep that habit going. Put everything you got. Give yourself a break, but do not let off the gas. Take a moment. That's why I say I don't really work Sundays. I give myself 1 day a week. But yes, I mean, there are days where I put out everything I got and there are no results for days and days and days and days. That's the nature of this business. If you're expecting to get a listing every day, then you're expecting to be the number one agent in your state, because nobody's doing that as a solo agent. So your expectations are making you upset or depressed because you are getting this impression that I should have more. But if you have this impression that you should have more, but you're not doing enough to get that, it's like thinking, you know what, I should be losing more weight. Forget the part where I'm eating, 5 slices of pizza a day. I'm really putting in a lot of work at the gym. It's like, no. It's either all or nothing. And if you fail, try again tomorrow. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I grew up on, my friends, from third grade to 8th grade, I was on Ritalin. I was a Ritalin baby. I was ADD, ADHD, all that before I was a household name. I've gone through 6 or 7 shrinks when I was a kid, psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever you want to call them, shrinks. I just know I sat on it. I laid on lots of couches looking at blotters where people were, I was a tough kid. My parents, oh my God, I took years off their life from what I put them through. Therapists, psychologists, the mental medication. And in 7th and a half grade, I was institutionalized, like straitjacket, padded room for 30 days in a high security Brea neuropsychiatric clinic. It doesn't exist anymore. I think it's a school or something. Anyhow, I've been there, man. If anybody suffers mentally, I suffer greatly. That's why you always see earphones in my ears, because I cannot live in the silence of my mind. I will drive myself crazy. I would want to die if I just sat. When people are like, you should meditate in silence, I'm like, hell no. They should say that, they'll be like, well, you should try running without headphones. I'm like, not a chance. I'm genuinely concerned about my ambition to run an Ironman by the time I'm 50, because the Ironman is a 112-mile bike ride, 1.2 mile swim, and a 26.2 mile marathon. You can't wear headphones. I don't know how I'm going to be able to train for being in silence for 14 hours of excruciating pain. So Michael has been chiming in here, so I'll quote Michael and say, once you get going, you'll like it. The fear goes away. You care less about where the results will be for a single door, and be confident that the month of door knocking will generate many leads. Right, and that's the deal with this one-on-one student. They were saying that like they're not getting any results. My friends, this individual knocked on 1,000 doors and got a listing. 1,000 doors and got a listing, and they are saying they don't have any results. Now they've already knocked on another 1,000 doors and they think they're not getting any results. So 2,000 doors and got a listing, or maybe 1,999, right? And that person is 1 door away from getting a listing, but they're feeling defeated. I get it. I've door knocked 100 doors and gotten 0, but I've also door knocked 100 doors and gotten 5. Right now, I'm dropping off a slam package. I'll hide the address. I'm dropping off this slam package, beautiful slam package, to an individual who I knocked on his door Saturday, and he said, yeah, pretty much. So I'm dropping off this package. It is 9:50 at night. I'm not home. So if you want to compare yourself to somebody, like this individual is like, well, it's easy for you to say you got 2 listings last week. And I'm saying, well, yeah, I'm here at 10 o'clock at night. I'm knocking 100 to 150 doors a day. Are you? So then why, like for me, if I compare myself to Ronnie Coleman or Sean Ray, I'm talking some of the old like bodybuilders, how could I see Jay Cutler, not the football player, but the bodybuilder, like top 5 bodybuilders on the planet, Jay Cutler, massive bodybuilder, Mr. Olympia. Why would I even look at him and say, that's not fair, he's got all those muscles and I don't? Am I training like him? No. So then what in the world would why would I think for a second that I deserve his body if I ain't earning it? So don't look at someone else. If you guys see my Instagram, I follow 0 people. 0. I don't follow anyone. I don't watch the news and I don't follow anyone because I got one track mind. Listings. Help more people faster and get paid more sooner. That's it. I don't have time. You put in the time, you put in the effort, you will feel better about your work, right? Yeah, Tim's saying, tell them to put the work in and don't focus on the results. The results are not linear. That's why the hardest thing for me is when people say, what's the ROI of door knocking? It drives me crazy because I know you want to hear a number. I saw someone in one of the posts earlier today, they're like, oh, I like what James Festini teaches, but he says it takes him 4,000 doors to get a listing. So automatically people think, I'm not going to do that. What are you guys thinking? What are you seeing? So I told this person, don't watch the news, don't watch social media, don't compare yourself to others, don't compare yourself to me, don't compare yourself to anyone but yourself. Do you guys remember that post I did the other day? It's just this perception, this public perception that everybody looks polished and everybody looks good. Do you remember the other day when I took a picture in front of a Lamborghini? There was a white Lamborghini in a parking lot. And I walked up to it and I told my daughter to take a picture. And I posed really close to it. And I'm like, and on my text, on the caption, I said, yeah, that just happened. I must have had 30 people saying, congratulations. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. James Festini has a Lamborghini. All I did was stand next to a photo and say, that happened. And you guys thought I purchased a Lamborghini. Not maybe some of you, but I don't own a Lamborghini. I'm still here, right? I'll never buy a Lamborghini. Ever. My God. They're pretty, but I don't think I'd even fit in one. Anyhow, what I'm getting at is, what did the public see? Now there's probably 100 people who think James Festini drives a Lamborghini. And they run with that. Maybe I even turn off some people like, oh, that guy's arrogant, fucking showing off his Lamborghini. What an asshole. I'm not going to listen to him. He's just in it for the money. Like, stop reading the headlines and stop forming opinions, because your headlines and your opinions are not the reality. Go work your butt off. Be so tired that depression puts you to sleep. And then when you wake up again, you're awake. But I have to listen to headphones. Right now, I just started another book. I'm always listening to books. If you go to my YouTube channel and you go to playlists, you'll see a playlist called Audibles, right? Books on tape or something. Look at my playlist. It will blow you away how many books on tape I've got there for free in YouTube. So go to my playlist inside of YouTube and look for that, and you see Audible. I share it with you freely. Almost like 9 out of 10 books that you guys look for to find out about sales, success, philosophy, all that stuff is in that playlist for free on YouTube. It's crazy. Anyhow, thank you for watching. I've got to go to bed. Tomorrow's another day. I'm going to go kick some ass, right? People want to know how many doors for a listing, and they forget the people that you met before the listing months. That's the biggest problem. By the way, I got Michael's chime in, and I appreciate all your stuff, what you're saying. But yes, on the final note, people want to know what the ROI is, but there's a problem. If you parachute into a city and you start knocking and you get a listing at 4,000, it's not that nothing was happening. You're meeting people, you're getting leads in between. So if you pick up a listing and then that falls, and that happens, what about the other 100 or 200 leads you got? Now you got these leads and you get another listing. So there's this snowball effect that you can't then go back, because you're doing other stuff. You're doing open houses, you're doing cold calling. And so I was able to measure in 2016 when I moved into this area what it was, and I could see it one more time. But now when I door knock, the listing I got Sunday from door knocking was someone I have seen 4 or 5 times over the past 4 or 5 years. So did I get him from door knocking? Yeah, pretty much. I've never called him and I would say hello, but then all of a sudden he says, yes, I'm ready. That was a listing from door knocking. How long did it take for me to get it? 2 years. Now everybody's going to be like, oh, it takes 2 years to get a listing. I can't afford that. It's like, oh shit. You guys aren't even listening. Bunch of headline readers, just taking what you want, extracting only that, and then taking it. You're just like stripping it and walking away with what you want instead of knowing the entire story. Go out, get more, and don't let, I can't help you with depression, people. I suffer with it too. I get upset. I get defeated. I feel down. I feel beaten. I feel tired. And then the next morning, guess what? I feel better. You know, like when we were babies and we started crying, we needed a nap. Maybe some of us just need a nap, right? Sleep in. If your body says, I don't want to wake up till 10, fucking don't wake up till 10. But by 10:15, you better be at the first door, work until sunset. Big deal. I sleep until like 7 a.m., 8 a.m. sometimes. I let my body tell me. I'm usually in bed by 9, which I'm, giving you guys my love right now. But please, don't let depression bother you. I hope this lecture, I wish I could just get through to you and say, be stronger, because it's only going to get worse, right? It's only going to get worse if you're the problem. Finances aren't the problem. Your beliefs are the problem. Relationships aren't the problem. It's your expectations are the problem. And so if you don't fix yourself, it's going to be very hard to fix the things around you. Just take care of your own mental health. Exercise, eat right, lose weight, gain weight, whatever's best for you. But don't let off the gas. Don't let complacency or depression slow you down, because it'll take you down. I think, depression in real estate has got to be a topic. No one talks about it. We would never post, today was a sad day, I'm feeling depressed. You would never post that on Instagram, on your Facebook page, right? Today was fun. Today I feel like shit, man. Sometimes I just feel like I'm never going to do this again. No, even if you didn't get shit done this week, you will post something on the internet that says, I'm busy, I've got 5 buyers today, guys. There's always enough time for you guys. Oh, hi. Yes, I'm sorry. I got to go now. I'm getting a call from a buyer. Come on now. Because it's a bunch of shit. A bunch of lies. All right? So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you watching. And if you have any questions, give me a call. No, don't call me. Email me. Text me. Find me on YouTube. Right? Share the links. Like, share, subscribe. Do whatever it takes to give you guys the best opportunity. Follow me on Instagram. I'm a prolific Instagram storyteller. And if like I said, buy my book. If you haven't bought Dynamic Door Knocking, what the hell's the matter with you? You should be definitely Dynamic Door Knocking right now. If there's ever anything I can do, give me a call. Or don't call me. Just email me. I don't know why. It's late, man. Don't call me. I don't even answer my phone anymore, these damn telemarketers.